Welcome to Obi-Wan Studios, and for today's LEGO Star Wars set review, I am so excited to say that the helmet collection is back for 2025 with the 75429 AT-AT Driver. This set released on March 1st, which is the day I'm making this review. I had to wait in the crazy line with everyone buying all of the Formula 1 sets today to actually grab this to make a timely review for you guys, but just one lone LEGO Star Wars set releasing on March 1st. Now, the AT-AT Driver helmet contains 730 pieces, and just in general, I think it's really awesome that we are getting another helmet collection set. Of course, it's not the only one that we're rumored to get for 2025, but for now, we just got the AT-AT Driver helmet. And when it comes to the box art for the AT-AT Driver helmet, it's what you would expect for a helmet collection set. You have just a nice shot of the helmet on the front of the box with a little bit of a glow in behind it in the all-black 18+ color scheme. And then on the back of our box, we see some of the shots of the actual AT-AT drivers from The Empire Strikes Back, along with just another angle of the build. I'm super excited to build this one today because I think it is going to look so great beside my Ultimate Collector Series AT-AT. Inside of the box, we have our instructions manual along with the sticker sheet, and when you open up the instructions manual, you'll find a foreword by the creative lead and design director for LEGO Star Wars Gens, just giving some information about the AT-AT drivers in universe and the model, with some shots from The Empire Strikes Back, that 18+ Ultimate Collector Series style of treatment that's done into these instructions manuals. I'm always just a really big fan of. I love those little details being added into these sets just to make them feel a little bit more special. And then there are 6 numbered bags in total. I'm now going to go and build the AT-AT Driver helmet, and I will check back in with you guys and continue the review once it is all complete. Alright, and here is the completed AT-AT Driver helmet, and when it comes to the helmet collection as a whole, I feel like they can kind of be a little bit hit or miss in terms of how great of a display model they actually look, but first impressions, because I literally just finished building the AT-AT Driver helmet, I think this one looks really great. Just from that glance, it definitely looks like an AT-AT Driver's helmet, and it just makes me really excited to display it alongside my Ultimate Collector Series AT-AT build. But when it comes to the helmet collection, Ultimate Collector Series sets, especially, I care about the accuracy to the source material. And it's funny, when you look at the opening of the instructions manual where the foreword is from Gens and you see some of the shots from The Empire Strikes Back, one of them shows General Veers, and then you just see a little bit of a portion of the AT-AT driver's helmet, which I thought was kind of weird. But I went back and watched The Empire Strikes Back, the opening scene of the Battle of Hoth, and that is all you get to see of the front of the AT-AT driver's helmet in the movie. So that is kind of the best look that you get. Luckily, you see the AT-AT drivers in Star Wars Rebels. There is also a really great shot from Lucasfilm of the actual just full-on kind of outfit that they wore in the movie, I believe. So there is some source material that we can use to compare to the helmet and the actual AT-AT drivers in universe. So with that said, how accurate is the AT-AT driver helmet to an AT-AT driver? And there are lots of little details that you can see here that the designers really paid attention to clearly and got right. You have some stickers which add in the correct kind of detailing and markings that you would want to see on the helmet. The one knockback against the stickers, like the striping on the top of the helmet, there's some striping on the back, and even on the sides here, kind of by the air ventilation system for the breathing apparatuses, you see that the gray color for the base of the stickers doesn't match the gray of the actual helmet, like the brick color. So that certainly is a knock to just the quality of the build in the set, because it just clearly doesn't look like it matches at all. There is one sticker on the back which is a red stripe on dark gray, and the dark gray to dark gray matching is a lot better than the light gray color matching. Sure, it adds in the right detail and the accurate detail, but that color matching definitely does not look the best. The Imperial logos that are red on these dish pieces up at the top are printed, thankfully, and they do look really fantastic. And then in the atmospheric air intake section as well, it's hard to see, but you do have some gray stripes as well, which are printed pieces. They kind of get covered up and lost in there a little bit, but those are printed too, which definitely is appreciated. And especially when you're trying to line up like these stripes, for example, it's just a giant pain. So for value for money as well, I just would have really appreciated that more of these pieces just would have been printed. But luckily, it's not just these stickers that are adding in a lot of the detail. You have just these little things throughout the build that the designers did pay a lot of attention to get right, like the cone coloring on the front of the air intake nozzles. On the left side of the helmet, it's in red. On the right side, it's in gray, which if you look at the actual model of the AT-AT driver, that's an accurate detail. That was done very well there. And one other detail that I didn't quite understand at first when I was trying to sort out why it looked this way is in the front with the kind of air intake filtering up here, you see in the middle, there's a little bit of red that shows up, and I was trying to push those plates together so that it didn't show when I initially had first built it. But then looking at the source material, you actually can see a little hint of red right in the center of the helmet. So that was an intentional design choice that they added for the build so that it was even more accurate. And I think most people would have never even had realized if it was not there, but I just wanted to point that out, that when you see that little hint of red sticking out in between those two plate pieces when they come together, that's intentional and that is accurate. And even on the back side of the AT-AT driver helmet, you have just some accurate details which you see, and you do see a bit more of the back of their heads in the actual movie, like the red striping that goes around one of the air kind of ventilation attachment pieces on the back here. That looks really great. Just one little red plate that goes in there just for a little bit of more detail and color blocking to make it just feel a bit more unique and not as plain, which I really do like as well. The one kind of part of the actual build that I personally am not a huge fan of is kind of the side profiling of the helmet. You see how it's more rounded and taller on the front, and then kind of where you have just all of the little pieces which try and create more of that spherical shape. It just doesn't quite look like it lines up, and it kind of slants down a little bit, like sharper almost than the front of the helmet. When you look at an AT-AT driver's helmet, you can kind of see where they were trying to what they were trying to do basically is there's kind of the more bigger front kind of armor plating on the front kind of by the eyebrows and everything, the forehead area, and then it does have a drop off, and then the rest of the helmet for just the AT-AT driver's head to go in is there. But just the way it translated into the actual helmet form here in Lego form, I just don't think looks that great. But besides the kind of top back section of the helmet, like even that middle ridge at the back, I think sticks out just a little too much. So that area I think could have used a little bit more work, but otherwise the proportions, the pieces that were used, I think all look really, really great. There aren't that many gaps either for the AT-AT driver helmet, which just goes a long way into making the build look as good as it does. Lastly, we have that standard Helmet Collection Series stand that's all tiled off, which looks great. And then our printed display plaque as well. Very sharp looking, just kind of your standard, what you would expect to get out of a helmet collection set. So when it comes to the AT-AT driver helmet, I personally am a pretty big fan of this set, and I've always been a fan of the Helmet Collection series as a whole, and after a brief hiatus, it definitely seems like it's making a comeback in 2025. And for just a small display set, they are so fantastic. Like if you're a fan of The Empire Strikes Back, and I mean, who isn't? This is a really great display piece that you can have that doesn't take up a lot of space either and just looks really cool. And I just think it's going to look so great next to my Ultimate Collector Series AT-AT. And even if you have a buildable like play scale AT-AT, this would look really great on display beside it too. So it would go really nicely with a lot of great sets. It's not perfect though. The stickers, especially like I pointed out, the color matching is not brilliant, and even just in terms of the building process, I found it very tedious because with sets like these, it is even more important that you get all the stickers to line up when it calls for it because it's a display piece. You want it to look as good as possible, so I had to take the stickers off a couple of times to actually get them to line up to where I was happy enough to leave them permanently on like that. So had they been printed, it would have made the set a lot better in my opinion. The shaping issue at the back, you're not really ever going to see that, but it is kind of there, so I think that could have used a little bit more work too. But overall, it truly is a great set, and like I said, there are lots of details that the designers got in to make it accurate, like even just the hint of red on the front in between that air intake. I just think is really great, and a detail that they definitely didn't need to make sure was done into the build, but I very much appreciate that was done. I just thought that was a really cool small detail where I was like, oh yeah, I thought that looked weird, but it's actually accurate. For the $70 price point that LEGO is asking for the AT-AT driver helmet, I could see some people maybe saying it feels like it's a little expensive, But when you look at other sets that LEGO is asking for the helmet collection in terms of price points on Lego.com, the Captain Rex helmet comes with more pieces than this and is $70. But then on the flip side, the Mandalorian helmet comes with less pieces and is also $70. So I feel like them sticking to that $70 price point feels good for the AT-AT driver helmet, and the fact that there wasn't a price increase for once when it comes to LEGO sets, it feels like I think $70 is fair. You could always wait for a sale, but I don't think you would be that upset either if you picked it up for the retail price. I personally am not, and I'm happy I just got it day one. So when it comes to the Obi-Wan Studios official set ranking, I'm giving this one an 8.5 out of 10. This is one for the ranking that I went a little bit back and forth on when I was actually trying to come up with that score. An 8 felt too low, 9 definitely felt too high, so I think 8.5 is perfect when it comes to this set. But as always, let me know what you think of the set and what score you would give it in the comments down below. Thank you for watching my review on the 75429 AT-AT driver helmet. As always, if you enjoyed the review, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already and you did enjoy the review. And check out my YouTube channel for lots more LEGO Star Wars 2025 set reviews. And until the next video, you guys, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next LEGO Star Wars set review.